Guys, I'll hop into a party real quick here. Closed party. So, just looking at the news, social media, hell, even just going to the damn store or fast food drive-through, or even just chilling at work. Everyone's talking about the death of Charlie Kirk. And some people are mourning, some people are upset, some people are celebrating. That is just disgusting. And it just seems like the further that we just dive into this, the further we explore this topic, it just seems like it brings either some of the worst out of people or some of the saddest out of people, out of individuals. It pains me to say that he died. It really does, because Charlie Kirk was a very peaceful debater. He always let the other side talk, always listened to what the other side said. He was into actual constructive conversation. Now, before Charlie Kirk, I was a huge fan of Steven Crowder. He had a lot of, but Steven Crowder is a comedian, so a lot of his political debate had, social commentary tied to it as well. But Charlie Kirk, was not like Steven Crowder. He wasn't trying to make content for YouTube or vice versa. He was trying to really get people politically motivated. Politics aside, this is not a political issue. Okay, this is an issue of pure evil. And this event will be politicized. Naturally, it will be. The powers that be will dictate that. I mean, it's clearly a politically motivated shooting. Just yesterday or the day before, they caught the shooter. A lot of people are talking about it. And I really wanted to give my long take on this, because my heart, my prayers, my regards really do go out to Charlie's family, his friends, his fans, the people that supported him. And at the end of the day, looking at this, he died because he had an opinion. That's the issue. If you are on the right or on the left, the one thing that you just have to acknowledge with this is that the guy died for having an opinion. Politically, in the 1960s, was where a lot of shit was going on. A lot of political violence, a lot of... and I'll say that the KKK was a domestic terrorist organization, the same as I would say BLM is a domestic terrorist organization, the same way I would say Antifa is a domestic terrorist organization, because of rioting, because of destroying communities, because of the political division that their political division rhetoric that they spew and spread. In the grand scheme of things, politics aside, none of us on the right are going to be burning down buildings or impeding traffic or, doing anything like that. It's just not what our party does. Now, January 6th happened. I can't say that I support January 6th 90%. But I will say that I do support the 10% of January 6th that I support is the fact that we basically I mean, we went to the, you know, we went to a government building. I'm not saying that hurting people, breaking government property is a solution, but what I am saying is that we have a right to go to government institutions to essentially gather. We are allowed to do that. You are allowed to protest, okay? But January 6th was not a protest, and this was an assassination. Hey, what's going on, Chill? You know, and it's just, it's constantly one after another, and now we're here. So
hold it right there.
And I can't say that I'm happy as an American with the way that people die in America, you know? And I know that the left is going to blame gun deaths on this. We're trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. I've been I've been at work constantly, man. I've been doing these crazy shifts. Later today, I'm gonna go to the range. You know, but you know, January 6th, like I said, I don't support the destroying property. I don't support the harming of individuals or anything that was done. I don't condone those actions, but but they were, if they just kept it a civil protest, if they didn't take it beyond that, you know, I think that there are powers at play with that. You know, I really do feel like a lot more to January 6th than what a lot of people are really thinking about, but I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories. I'm just going to keep it what it is, just factual. The fact is that people were destroying property, and they were doing the very thing that we're against, you know. But time and time again shows that the left, they assassinate people that have different opinions than them. Then when they are caught up in the whole, well, you know, you guys do this, you guys claim to be the party of peace, the anti-war party, and then they use the whole, well, he was spewing hate. It doesn't matter what he was spewing, you know, he doesn't deserve to die for his opinion. So that's like the most anti-American thing, is to kill somebody for their opinion, their First Amendment rights. So, you know, it's like, regardless if you think that saying two genders is hate because it doesn't support the idea of multiple genders, it's not hate, it's an opinion. You know, I don't necessarily hate people that identify as trans or pansexual or whatever. I just only believe that there are two genders because that's science. That's biology. That's the world we live in. When scientists discover your bones a million years from now, they're going to identify you as a male or a female. And I really think that we are in the height of what I'm going to call a political Cold War, on the brink of an American Civil War in this nation, because now it's becoming very violent. They've tried to assassinate Trump twice now, you know, and just seeing how people are reacting to Charlie Kirk's death, his assassination, people celebrating, is just disgusting. It is just purely disgusting. It's not okay. People are getting pissed off because they're getting fired at their jobs. Well, I think it's a good thing they're getting fired, because, you know, they are celebrating someone dying. That's not good for the company, you know. It's just, you know, when do we draw the line on what's acceptable? Because killing somebody for disagreeing with you is not acceptable. I think a lot of people are leaving the Democratic Party, and I think that that's going to cause politicians to spin a completely different narrative. I mean, you know, people were just tired of the way that Joe Biden was running this country. People had no faith in him. You know, he stole the election pretty much. I myself do not accept the election results. But with the Trump election, it was a landslide. It's just like, okay, you know, but let's look at it. Joe Biden's approval rating was so low. You know what I mean? It's like people genuinely didn't want him in office anymore. And Kamala Harris, she really didn't have, politics aside, or political bias aside, she really didn't have a plan for this country. You know, people were asking her, okay, well, how do you plan on doing this? And she couldn't fundamentally create an answer. She just had to keep, like, trying to avoid questions. I'm actually really sick. I hope you get better, man.
Hold it right there. Let's do that again sometime. That was something.
But yeah, Kamala Harris did not have an actual solution for the things that she was trying to. So, anyway, the primary issue with the politics that comes to Trump's election is the people that are like, this isn't real, yada yada yada, and it's just like they tried to, like, once they tried to assassinate Trump, you know, they sealed their fate. You know what I mean? It was clear that nobody wants to be associated with a party that tries to kill people that disagree with them. It's just nobody wants to be a part of that. Nobody wants to say that they support that. So all the logical and rational people are slowly moving to the Republican Party in vast numbers. Quickly, it turned the election around for the Republican Party. And it sealed the already impending reality that Trump was going to be president. And I think when we study that, when we acknowledge that, you know, it makes sense. And so the death of Charlie Kirk, though, on the other hand, doesn't make sense. You know, why him? He's not a political, like, he's not in politics. Does that make sense? Like, he's not a politician. He's not a senator. He's not a congressman. You know what I mean? He's not. He has nothing to do with the law or how laws get created. He just engages in open political conversation. Civil dialogue.
What are you doing, child? Put me down.
And that to me makes no sense. He's getting people to critically think. He's having people. Here's the idea: if you form a political opinion, you have to have your political opinion challenged. You have to be able to defend your point with logic and reason. And so it's just unreasonable to assassinate somebody because they disagree with you. And, you know, people are going to be blaming this on guns. People are going to be blaming gun violence on this because a gun was used. And I'm going to make this point very clear as a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. The problem is not firearms, okay? Like I said, because this is not a firearms problem. This is a problem of pure evil. Alright? And if people can't look past that, if people can't say that what had happened to Charlie Kirk is pure evil, then they're delusional. Alright? Because it's not a political issue. I mean, he was assassinated for his politics or for whatever. But it's an issue of pure evil. Oh, hey, what's up, man?
While waiting to be experimented upon, consider the magnitude of the creatures surrounding you.
And I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. Right? I've been kind of busy. I've been adding a lot of Metal Gear Solid content to the channel. So I did get Delta Snake Eater, I think about a week or so, or a couple of days after it released. Just because, you know, I'm on second shift, so I get off at midnight. It's an hour drive home, so when I'm working, there's no way I'm going to make it to the store in time to get the game. They finally are setting up an appointment time, or they're setting up a class for me to go to take my OPADAs, which is Ohio Officer of the Peace, whatever, basically, so I could be an armed guard. Make the Discord server and give me admin, remember. So I had to delete so Discord was on my phone. They're making me have to set up a new Discord account. Discord's taking up a lot of space on my phone because my phone is more than 3 years old. And so now a couple of things are going to take place here, okay? Number one, I was going to stay here at this current apartment complex because they were going to essentially move me into a 2-bedroom. I got my car paid off. I'm actually going to move closer to work. I've been waiting for months for them to basically say, yeah, we finally got this apartment ready, so I'm gonna look at moving somewhere else. My mom's probably gonna help me with a couple of other things, in particular helping me move, and I'm gonna use my vacation, my work vacation, my paid time off to move, so I can spend the time to do it. And also at the same time, like, I'm looking at trying to get into a 2-bedroom because I want a room for my guns. The other thing, I also would like to upgrade in technology. I would like to get a better laptop. I would like to get a better setup. And I would like to essentially be able to make videos, edit them. I'm going to take all my stuff from storage, take it out, so I'm not paying for a storage fee. I'm not doing any of that nonsense. I have an Xbox 360 now. I have multiple consoles now. You know, now that I've opened the door finally for Xbox shit.
Want Bloodwing back, huh? Shame. I've been doing some really interesting iridium experiments with her. Hate to see her go. But heck with you.
Yeah, man, I just, you know, here's the great thing, man. This is what, see, here's the thing, I don't make any money from this. To me, I would rather not make money and have a connection with my subscribers. I would rather not make a dime, but be able to make people laugh, be able to make people happy, being able to make people just get engaged with topics and conversations, because that's what's important to me. That's what's really important to me. Is spreading positivity, spreading a point of view,
Hit her with a drink.
making
Sorry,
people
soldier. But you gotta beat Bloodwing down.
just excited to click on, to watch.
Control core.
You know, like that to me makes me
That's
happy.
what matters. Fire!
Yeah, a lot of them kind of were.
Watch your claws! Electricity! Electricity. Sci-fi. Coming up next. That's it. Now what? Come on, what's left? She's coming for you! Look out!
Damn it!
I'm loading the trank dart. Tranquila, blood. This won't hurt, I promise. Okay, she's still alive. Get the microchip from her collar, and we can get her back to Sanctuary. Oh, now I remember. Explosive! No! That is why you don't screw with me. You and your little friend Mordecai turn yourselves in, or that dumbass bird. It's just the beginning. Ah, damn it, Jack! I'm gonna kill you! You hear me? Sorry about Bloodwing, soldier, but we gotta keep moving. Get that software upgrade to Claptrap, and we'll be able to get through the security field leading to control.
But yeah, guys. Like I said, when I go and I move, I'm going to. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm in love with that camo, that autumn camo. I'm absolutely in love with it. I would love to get a gun done up in that camo. That's my whole thing. Is I don't really have a lot of camo guns. You know what I'm saying? Closest thing I have is the Glock 19X and FDE, Flat Dark Earth. So for me, when that zombie.
I had a violin somewhere. I was gonna play it all certain.
Yeah.
Awesome. Blake,
I'm not too busy tomorrow, but like I said, later today I'm gonna go ahead and go to the shooting range, train up, because like I said, they are gonna be sending me to those classes, and I've got to be able to pass those things. I want to try to pass. I want to try to be top of the class is the goal to make my company proud. You know, yeah, there's just something to my taste of video games. Like, I'm a huge fan of, like, Resident Evil, Silent Hill. Obviously, I like Metal Gear Solid, Borderlands, racing games. I played a lot of Grand Theft Auto on the channel. I have over 2,000 hours in that game. But yeah, it makes me just so happy.
Alright, sweet. Found it. Alright, this is a song from Mordecai's Stupid Bird. Alright, you know what? Screw you. It would have been hilarious if I found it earlier. Shut up!
I can't wait to get Borderlands 4. Honestly, it's looking like Gearbox is. Looks like an improved version of Borderlands 3. Hopefully they try to make it more like Borderlands 2. You know what I mean? In terms of like their comedy. But Borderlands 3 to me it was not the best. In terms of gameplay though, it was pretty sweet. Graphics was pretty sweet. Now let's see on here real quick though. Like, I love the doll camos. Truth be said, I am gonna have a couple of guns in my personal collection that will be done in the doll camos. The in particular the purple rarity one.
That was quite an experience.
Take this number.
Alrighty. You consistently regenerate health up to 2.0% of your health every second. If we were to add Blood of the Terramorphous, that would be another 1%. That would literally be 3% of my maximum health per second. I just think that's crazy.
Still, he owes me a favor, and he can help us get past the bunker outside Control Core Angel.
Another game I absolutely love is Minecraft. Like that was a huge part of my childhood. It's crazy to me because I'm a grown-ass adult now, you know, but way back in the day, back in the 5th grade, me and my friends, we bought those like little foam Minecraft swords and pickaxes and shit. Because we used to play out in the woods and shit. We tried to do real life Minecraft and it kind of sucked ass, but you know what? We used our imaginations for a majority of it. It was kind of cool. It's like kids today, they don't want to go outside. You know? I mean, we used to play with Nerf guns and shit, bro. Like that. Kids today, they don't want to go outside. It's actually saddening to me. But it's crazy that growing up as a kid, you know, I grew up with like Left 4 Dead 2, you know what I mean, and shit like that. Because whilst I never owned Xbox, my neighbor Travis did, and you know. But you know, I gotta say, man, as an adult, times are so different, you know. The logic, the reasoning, the things that happen, it's just crazy to me. My neighbor Travis cursed my yard by fucking feeding squirrels, and those squirrels would come into my yard. They would dig down and plant their fucking nuts and shit like that in our yard. It looked like a fucking construction site because of how much dirt there was instead of grass. Pissed off my mom a great deal, and it's just like when people say, "Oh yeah, we're feeding the squirrels," and I cringe. I hate squirrels. They're varmints. They're not fucking. They're small game. I'm evil. Nuts are actual nuts. Actual nuts, like peanuts. But yeah, if I could find a place in Troy,
Control Core Angel is at the top of that mountain.
well, rather that's closer to my job,
The Slab King is up on the other cliff. He can help us
then yeah, I can I was thinking of something else.
You'll have to fight through the slabs, so he's careful.
Oh, legendary loot midget.
Hold it.
He didn't drop shit. This is Borderlands too. This is for sure BL2. But when I do play Borderlands 3, I still need to beat that game now because I started it on the channel. I got I got 3 legendary items early game, and it's just like, yeah, I just need to beat that fucking game. But no, seriously, guys, I've been no sarcasm. What's it called? But seriously though, I need to beat Borderlands 3. Cause like when I got when I upgraded to because when I bought the game digitally, it came with a PS5 upgrade for free or whatever, and so basically it reset all my progress, so I don't have my I don't have flak at that high level. So I had to start a new character, but I'm gonna actually buy all the DLC, go through the game, and try to get as caught up to date as much on Borderlands as possible in preparation for Borderlands 4, which I will be doing on the channel. But again, you know, so Borderlands 4, we had Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, Silent Hill F is coming out, so those are titles that I'm all excited for, obviously. Resident Evil 9, Requiem, I'm kind of excited for it. I don't really care too much. I still haven't played Resident Evil Village.
Some satellite footage from Ovejas taken shortly before our occupation force arrived.
Play it. I want to hear his next snap! Salvador. For the murders of the men known as Blunt Crack, Craw, Friday, and Spit Stain.
Spit Stain is crazy.
Have you last words in your defense? They were men! They tried to kill mi abuela! Yes. You have attempted to convince your fellow villagers of this many times. Anything else to say regarding? Dusty was just a puppy. Almost as nice as my first dog. You let your boss know I'm gonna do to him exactly what he did to her. I've been waiting for this. What do you mean they ain't from her here? Oh, must be a new recruit. All right, boys. Let's put him through the ringer.
The nasty surprise is crazy.
Oh, yeah. The Slab King won't talk to you unless you join his gang. So just survive whatever initiation he's got planned for you.
Stay still. That was awesome.
Awesome. I'm gonna goon while I watch this. Is crazy.
Come again. Killing those men was fun? Killing bad guys is always fun. What the hell? Who are those men? Attention bandits. The town is now property of the Hyperion Corporation. Vacate the premises or we will open fire. Hyperion? Who's Hyperion? This must be some mistake. Sirs? I think you've come to the wrong town. You are... Everybody get down! Now!
No, I killed them all. Now I can't get back up. Damn it. But yeah, no guys, I'm gonna be buying a lot more guns right before I start my gun channel, because there's a lot of guns that I would like to talk about, that I would like to own to talk about. In particular, the new HK release. I'm gonna actually do the whole collection of their little 22 conversions of their regular expensive rifles. I think they're made by a company called Uramax, I think. I have their MP5, but I have the carbine version, so it has a fake suppressor on it. It's modeled after the MP5 SD. But they have a G36, they have a HK416, and they have a pistol version of the MP5 with no stock. I would like to get all of them. Why? Well, because I can. Because I would like to. Because I love HK products, I do, but I just don't have the budget to afford the HK stuff. Because HK stuff's expensive.
I've managed to recover the last echo recording from the Ovejas occupation force, Jack.
Let's hear it. Ah, my arm, you maniac! Quit your whining. You still got the other one. Besides, you killed Judge Hector, shut up my town. What do you care? That guy was gonna hang you. Nobody's perfect. Now, why did you come here? It's Jack's orders. We're clearing out bandit villages and looking for vault hunters. What's a vault? Stupid? Ah! I may be stupid, but at least I can walk, cabron. The vaults are alien treasure. Unimaginable danger. Oh, that sounds fun. All right, you're free to go. Crawl on back to your amigo. Crawl? It'll take me days to get back to my unit. You maniac! You bastard! Ah! Por favor, call me Salvador. Yeah, like this guy. Put him on the list.
Alright, there we go. There's that. Run in here. We're not gonna get anything good because it's one of these chests. Launcher damage? If it was launcher damage and launcher capacity, I'd say, okay, with Axton this would be useful, but it's just not. Just not worth it. Though I will say this, though, seriously, grabbing one of those Bone of the Ancient relics, or whichever one of those E-Tech relics give you launcher ammo at maximum health and potentially like pistol ammo, that would be the one I'd go for, because I would always carry 2 pistols. I think the best build you can do.
It has to happen! Face, 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 face! Tired of waiting! No more waiting! Need a face shot! Boom! Squish! Shoot me in the face! Wasn't my face! Shoot me in the... Take out!
Face McShooty. I did a crazy cross map with 0 once with Face McShooty. Let me grab my phone because it's not letting me read all the comments. It actually cuts the message in half. Which the PS5 version of streaming is so fucking weird. Let me go find my damn phone. Yeah. I'll go. I'll do that. Damn, this fan is loud. I'm gonna turn this bitch off. Alright. I'm thinking, does Salvador only get 3 echo recordings, or does he get 4?
invited to my throne room, recruit. But now it's time for the real initiation. Snaps, rip 'em up! You idiots always want to fight. Well, now's your chance. Badasses, the Vault Hunters wiping the floor with you. Say something!
Hold it right there.
I haven't seen moves like that in years.
Wasn't my time.
I actually died.
Don't think of your death as failure. Think of it as fun. Don't think of how you...
But yeah, I'm
War profiteering. Think of them as war fun.
bro is thinking about his life decisions through a Paul's screen. Yeah, man, I do, man, I have to. So I'm trying to buy a Mustang. So I really like Mustangs. I would like to own one really badly. But like the V8 Mustang, because I'm under 25, the insurance would be really high. I get a V6 automatic really cheap. I like manual transmissions, but it's like buying a sports car with a manual transmission. You have to trust that the previous owner did not do dumb shit with it. And chances of that being the case are, I'd say it's about 50-50. But, you know, I'm okay starting from the bottom and working my way up. Yeah, because I like V6 cars, especially because, like, every car I've owned so far has been a V6. That's how the Mustang started, too. It didn't start off as a V8. Ford had to do something to compete with Chevy. In the 60s especially, like the Chevy and Dodge really held the muscle car movement together. Ford didn't have a lot of muscle cars. You're cooked. I'm cooked. I want to try to level him up to the maximum level and then try to kill him.
Hyperion suggests that you were short of death. A victory achieved without
Whoa!
Murdering you is gonna feel so right. You goddamn scream for me. Scream! Get on your goddamn knees. Try breathing through crushed lung. You lucky.
That was something.
You killed for my best friend to get to me. I only got one thing to say to you. That was awesome! So what you want? You are the biggest badass of all time! And I was wondering when you were called it that thing. So, the bunker. Now that you're one of us, my buzzards can help you take her down. Don't tell Roland I'm in. Great job. With Brick's crew on our side, we should have an easier time getting past the bunker protecting Angel. Come on back and we'll see about getting through that door that'll only open for Jack. Let me get the door for you.
There could have been an echo in here that talked more about Brick, you know? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's still a perfect game. But, so yeah, this autumn camo on these dull pistols, the purple rarity. This is like one of my favorite camos of all time. I can't tell you why, but I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I really want to go to my local gunsmith and be like, hey, can you make this? Can you put this type of camo on a Glock? I'll have one of one.
So, the Vault Hunter met the Slabs. What a lovely opportunity to kill two bandits with one mortar assault.
Targeting beacons initialized. Beginning mortar bombardment.
Jake, he's using mortars again! He's using mortars! Oh, crap! Slab! We gotta stop those mortars or there won't be nobody left to help you with the bunker! Follow me! Jack must have dropped some beacons to guide the mortars. If we don't destroy the beacons, we're dead!
One day, if my subscriber count gets high enough or something like that, I might do a meet and greet. No, I'm just playing. I'm never gonna be that popular. But you know what though? It's you know, honestly, when I start my gun channel, I might go to SHOT Show. Cause I at least want to go once, you know, to SHOT Show. It's like literally it's like Disneyland for adults that are into guns. Come on, Brick, power up. Yeah, you've been punching it for a minute. There you go, he powered up. Huh. I don't think it matters, honestly. He was shot in the neck. The neck is not the head, but that's... What's the point of that comment? Like, I don't... Well, I'm glad people are getting fired for at their jobs because they're, you know, talking about it in a negative way, you know, because that's just pure evil. How is Charlie Kirk against kids if he's against abortions? He wants children to live. Like, what?
Well, that was fun. Badass job today, Slab. I'll meet you back at Sanctuary. Oh, just so you know, my slabs will probably still try to kill you because they're freaking idiots. Don't feel bad about killing them. I never do.
The Israel versus Palestine thing, like, okay, are we taking into account the Palestinian terrorists that constantly assault Israel? I mean, it's just a point of interest.
Look, we both know it's shit. Just pop 'em so I can get back to my welding. Get out of my face, pig! Cannon boy!
Yeah, October 7th, when Hamas terrorists went into Israel and were just killing innocent people. Yeah, Hamas is not part of Israel. Hamas is part of Palestine. And they're backed by Iran. No, I took a minute. I'm responding to a text message from my boss. They want me to come into work today, and I don't want to go into work today. It's my day off.
Sorry to interrupt, but we've little time. Get to the City of Opportunity. To breach the final door to my chambers, you'll need to be Jack. That means passing a bioscan and speaking a password in his voice.
Hold on. I am not going into fucking work today, bro. Well, I'm a security guard, so I work at all hours of the day. And where I live, it's currently 1839. Yeah, my job is like going on my YouTube channel. They're like, yeah, I'm a security guard. Sort of like FNAF. When I worked for Aegis, they had some pretty creepy sites. There was this hospital that was, for the most part, it was non-operational. The people that owned the property just wanted to make sure that people weren't getting into the property before it was going to be demolished. And so basically, like, they just had a sort of patrolling the area, vice versa. Dude, bro, the fucking 5th floor of that hospital is fucking haunted, bro. Like, I can't make that shit up, bro. I can't explain it, man. Unexplainable things have happened there. And I told my boss that if they were to send me back there, I'd quit, and then they never sent me back there. So then they moved me to a bank and a Crocs distribution center. So those are the two that I worked when I worked for Aegis, and now I work for a different company. My Minecraft PS3 world is haunted. Oh boy. Man, I'll be brutally honest with you with my politics. I don't support Palestine. I can't. Now, it doesn't mean that I advocate for violence on civilians or Palestinian politicians. I just don't support I just don't support them. I do stand by Israel. I do understand that Israel does some pretty horrible things themselves, you know, but then again, I also look at the United States and I have to say that, are we a perfect place? No, you know, like, we've staged, you know, a lot of things. Got my food, got my SM stream, I'm ready to party. Haha. Let's get it, man. You know, I really cannot support countries that literally, like, behead people because they disagree with them. Again, it's the same thing here in the United States, right? Like, I can't support, I just cannot support the left. I'll listen to their arguments, but I just can't agree with anything that they have to say. Now, granted, a lot of that has to do with just the way that they conduct themselves as a political party. You know, they claim to be the party of peace, but time and time again, riots, assassinations, when they don't get their way, they whine, they complain, they're two-sided. So here's a prime example of a two-sided political argument from the left is they don't want you to own guns, but they want you to call the police if you have a home invasion. But at the same time, they're the party that claim that the police are racists. It's like, you really cannot have it both ways. At the same time, they want to infringe on the Second Amendment and the First Amendment and any other amendment that they can, all because of inclusion or because of, oh, this is offensive now, or oh yeah, you can't, one mass shooting is going to suddenly warrant a one of my colleagues celebrated on Wednesday, and yeah, it's not a political issue. It is an issue of pure evil, and I will continue to say that. It is completely 100% pure evil, and the people that celebrate that are celebrating pure evil. And, you know, like I said, man, normally on the channel I don't get very political. I mean, I have my political opinions, I'm not ashamed of them. But, you know what I mean, like, I get it, people want to get away from politics because it's kind of annoying, especially if you have that one family member that thinks they know everything. You know, regardless of politics, you know, like, it's just an aspect of people. I don't think that, you know, because someone's a liberal doesn't mean I can't respect them. You know what I mean? It's not at all. You know, it's I support everybody. I respect everybody, right? But when you get in my face because I disagree, and when you threaten violence upon me because I disagree, that's where respect is sort of it's a mutual thing, and it's earned and not given. The way that I view the world, everyone starts off with a neutral respect. I don't talk shit about them. I don't do anything that's rude or inherently, unless we're talking about traffic, right? You know, and you got that Prius going 20 under the speed limit, and you honk at them, you know, okay, yeah, but, you know, there's some nuance to that, right? But respect goes both ways, and you can't have it one way. And you can't be screaming at people because they, you know, because they see something differently, you know? Especially the people that, like, claim that the right are fascists, right? This is something I hear quite often, alright? That the right-wing Republicans are fascists, they're evil, they're this, they're that. It's like, I don't think so. Like, it wasn't Abraham Lincoln that freed the slaves, right? He was a Republican. You know? It wasn't the, you know what I mean? There's just, there are many examples. But, like, I think a good example is, like, some people call, like, here's a prime example, right? British colonialists or fascists or whatever. and I'm looking at like the Rhodesian Bush War, and people are like claiming that like Rhodesia was formed by British fascists, this and that and the other. But it wasn't the Brits that were fighting Nazis in Africa. You know what I'm saying? It's actually crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like here's the problem, bro. They get these college educations to have these opinions, yet their opinions are just so fucking backwards, bro. Like backwards mechanics, bro. Like I cannot explain it any further than that. Like what they say makes no sense to me. And I do believe that history is written by the victor. I do think there are certain parts of history that are incorrect, that the public genuinely wouldn't know. That an actual college education wouldn't make you more intelligent than someone without one. Charlie Kirk did not have a college education. He was very intelligent, very respectful. He let the other side talk, didn't interrupt, didn't get judgmental. There's always the other side that are like, what are you doing here? You know, you're trying to offend people, you're provoking people, because he's simply presenting an argument, a political debate. Debates don't have to be arguments, not if you guys are trying to have a civil conversation. But now it appears that we have to talk. We have to have a conversation about having conversations. And that to me is wild. I mean, seriously, when you look at people that were from like the 1950s and shit, they talked about politics quite often. You know, people were more politically active. Once we made politics offensive and you can't disagree with people, once we became that childish, that's when this country started going downhill. You know what I mean? As people that are so childish that if you disagree with me, we can't be friends. We can't associate because you disagree with me. Well, guess what? In the world, you don't have to like somebody, but in the world where you have to work with people that might not agree with you, that might not believe the same things that you believe in, there's such a thing as civil discourse, and there's also such a thing as tolerance. And shooting somebody because they have a different opinion is not tolerant. And to claim otherwise is delusional. How are we meant to get anything done if all we do is stay mute? Exactly. Free speech is so important. It's a founding principle of this country, you know, is the freedom of speech and opinions, the freedom of ideas. It's such an amazing, beautiful thing, and to censor it, to pollute it, or to otherwise corrupt that is disgusting. But not only that, but like the fucking, you know, like when George Floyd died, right? It's a tragedy, and I'll say that it's a tragedy. But when you look at the evidence, he did not die because an officer. He did not die from suffocation. He died from a drug overdose. Now, do people have a right to be upset? Of course, it's a tragedy. It sucks.
Hope you enjoyed your break. Back to work.
You know, but the other thing is, rioting is just not acceptable. It's not an acceptable. The First Amendment allows us to gather and allows us to protest, but burning down a building is not a protest. Martin Luther King did not burn down buildings because minority groups were being segregated. He didn't burn down buildings and destroy property and impede traffic. You know, they peacefully protested. So once you resort to violence, you lose. You lose whatever argument, because if you can't beat the other side with words and ideas, then intellectually you lose. Like, that's just pure and simple. And I think a lot of logical people left the Democratic Party, which means that, or at least there a lot of people. From what I heard, a lot of people left the Democratic Party after Charlie Kirk died, because they see the radicals on their side supporting this, and they're disgusted. So they're just done with politics. Some of them. I can't speak for everybody, but that's a trend I'm seeing. so what that means is that if all the logical people are leaving the Democratic Party, that's just going to only leave radical Democrats, which is a dangerous idea. But the other thing is, you know, it's like, personally, as an opinion, do you like democracy? Well, yes, but we don't live in a pure democracy in America. We live in a democratic republic. I think it's very important to see it from that perspective, though. But yeah, you know, the other thing is, people are allowed to choose whatever they want to, whatever political affiliation they want to be a part of. It's like choosing whatever religious affiliation you want to be a part of. The other thing I'm seeing, as a Christian American, I'm seeing a lot of like left-wing Christians claiming that MAGA is a cult, this and that. Politics have nothing to do with religion. All right. Because here's something else, right? The whole, okay, if we're Christian, we're supporting killing God's creation, right? If we're Christian, we're supporting abortion. You know what I mean? It's like we can use the same, we can use the same argument of, okay, well, the Democratic Party is the party of Satan or whatever, but it's saying that it's not, doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? Because political decisions are not the same as religious decisions. You know? But that's just my opinion. Should I be shot over it? I don't think so. Could I be shot over it? Well, we've seen what happens to other Republicans and conservatives that have opinions, like Donald Trump and Charlie Kirk, Abraham Lincoln. You know, they've been shot. They've been killed for their opinions. Now some were killed for power. You know, for, you know, other reasons besides their opinions. But it's important to note that Charlie Kirk in particular, he was not a politician, he was not in our government. And I think we as citizens of this great nation, we have every right to stand up for what we believe in. As long as it is in a peaceful, in a peaceful manner. Because again, respect goes both ways. If I am going to have a political rally, we're not going to impede traffic, there's not going to be violence. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing with George Floyd. His death is a tragedy. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's not. It is a guaranteed tragedy. Could things have been taken differently? Yes, 110%. But when you resist arrest, and I'm not excusing the actions of the officers, but what they did, that the hold that they did, the technique that they did, does not inherently cause you to suffocate. He died because of a drug overdose, and they should have taken into account other factors when handling the situation. Now, does that mean that cops are evil, cops are trying to kill people? No, it just means that mistakes happen. As a security guard, and as someone that's going to be an armed security guard, there's a lot of factors that come into things. Individual decision making, some people just see being a cop as just being a job, like going to the office. Some people really don't understand what it actually means to be a cop or to have authority and to realize that you have authority. Some people let the title go to their head. Example, one of my friends is an armed guard as well, but as soon as he became an armed guard, but him being an armed guard, he let the title go to his head because he got paid more. He's like, well, I'm here to protect you guys. And, you know, he made it very clear to the other guards that he felt like he was better than them, and that's why nobody at the site likes him. But when they heard that I was his friend, and they thought that I was going to be the same exact song and dance routine, I'm here to save you guys gotta respect me, I'm an armed guard, I'm better than you. But instead, I came into the site respectfully. I didn't act like I knew everything. I listened to what other people had to say. I listened to people with experience at the site to learn about the different nuances of the site. And I was open-minded. I was respectful. I let people talk. And that's why so many people at my current job, they respect me, bro. It's not because of my title. You know, it's not because of my experience. It's because of how I interact with my team. I'm a team player. You know, I'm always coming in on my days off. I'm always doing 16-hour shifts. I'm always helping people. I'm always, you know, my comms are great. I communicate very well. You know, I pass on information when needed. That's how you earn respect in the workplace. You know. I have Charlie Kirk in the title. Not for fucking clicks. I have it because he stood up for what I believed in, and I'm taking this stream to mostly revolve around the political conversation and the conversation of good and evil. Because that's the basis of today's conversation. It is not about clicks or views. I have a very... If it's about clicks and views, I would have put hashtag this, hashtag that. I would try to... You know, I would do something, bro. I couldn't. I just absolutely couldn't do that, man, for clicks and views. It's about having a political discourse, the very thing that Charlie Kirk believed in, because that's what I believe in. He died doing the things that I supported. You know what I mean? Which is political discourse, the political conversation, the idea of challenging ideas, challenging politics, challenging people's intelligence. Because somebody might blindly follow something just because, oh, it's Republican, I'm a Republican, that means I support this. You know, I think there's more nuances to it than that. And challenging people's ideas with debate and civil discourse is important. I'm not saying that's what we're having here, but what I am saying is that, you know, I am a small YouTube channel. I don't expect to get a lot of views out of this. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm simply talking about something that's important to me. I'm not getting paid enough for this. Welcome to my world. See, in my job, I'm in charge of the fire system. That involves every sprinkler head, every PIV valve, every fucking riser, the jockey pump, the backup generator. I'm responsible for the diesel pump, the electrical pump. I'm responsible for, you know, monitoring the water pressure of the fire system, because if there's a sudden loss in pressure, that would mean that water's either leaking, or if there's like someone damaged it, now it's like spewing out, because that shit comes out at such high PSI. It's a safety issue. We're responsible for the safety and well-being of everybody, of every worker, both the office and the warehouse. I'm responsible for the fucking monitoring CCTV, access control. I farted in my wallet, now I have gas money. Bro, that's an underrated comment, bro. That's fucking goated. That's fucking goated. Well, I'm responsible for a lot of things, bro. And it's like, it takes a lot of maturity to do what I do. You know, it does. But I'm not saying that I'm not saying that nobody can do what I do. I think everybody could do what I do, but they have to have the right mindset to do it properly, to do it by the books, to do it the company way. And not only that, but also,
The Hyperion Corporation would like to remind you that the afterlife is
But Jonah Hill, bro, he's a great actor, man. You know, he played in 21 Jump Street, Super Bad, War Dogs. You know, a great actor. That's fucking wild.
Oh yeah, he's ordered the deaths of every worker who's taken off more than 15 minutes in the past week. We'll be coming around with chisels and firing squads shortly.
Alright, we gotta go kill Handsome Jack's double. Oh, man. Oh yeah, The Wolf on Wall Street. He did play in that. You know, I mean, I'm really turning into an old man every day. I can't help it but to watch like westerns and like World War II movies. I was watching Saving Private Ryan the other day, and then I went through and I watched For a Few Dollars More, or A Fistful of Dollars with Clint Eastwood. Like, you know. You know, I've been kind of inspired to try to get into like lever action guns and like just old Western style weapons like the double barrel shotguns, the classic bolt action rifles, you know. Whatchamaffuckit, obviously lever action weapons like Henry lever guns. So I don't have a single lever gun yet. But single action revolvers. Getting back into the Red Dead shit. Because I mean they make modern functioning replicas of like black powder pistols and stuff.
I'd almost finished my comic.
I almost have what I need. Just activate a few more kiosks.
Did you know you're staring at the future site of the Opportunity Pleasure Palace? That's right. For $1,000, you'll be able to spend an hour with a life-size likeness of me.
But yeah, I'm gonna be taking lots of firearm classes and courses and stuff because I love guns. Did my comment delete itself? I think so. I think YouTube censors my YouTube censors a lot of my shit. They pulled entire streams, they've shut down entire streams where it says I'm still recording, but like on the viewer's end it's blacked out, you know, like YouTube hates me. That has been an ongoing thing with this channel.
Punishable by death? If not, you also ought to know complaining about Opportunity's laws is considered verbal littering.
Verbal littering is crazy. I'm gonna get that constructor. If they're flagged as bad, yep. Yep, that's exactly right.
Attach the pocket watch quickly. I see the files. All done. Now grab the voice modulator. Great. Now, unfortunately, you will speak in Jack's voice until you reach the security door. I will tell you the password to open it at the appropriate time.
This is interesting technology. I wonder not... Oh, God, that sounds atrocious.
You seriously thought you could hide from me, Angel? Is that what you thought? Say goodbye to your friend, Angel. Say it.
See you soon.
Found a way past the final door to Angel's control core, huh? Well, she's kept up her part of the bargain. Surprising.
But the other thing, guys, I also don't own a single revolver yet. I want to start buying revolvers.
This isn't a discussion. You're not going without me. Period.
This is it, everybody. Look, Mordecai, you're protecting the city. Rick will provide...
Yikes.
And I'll climb up the control core, Angel, from the cliff face. Any questions?
Yeah, why ain't I going? I gotta pay Hyperion back for Bloodwing.
And you will, but for now, I need you protecting Sanctuary in case this is just another trap.
I think I'm gonna buy... I haven't even made fun of for this, but I think I'm gonna buy a Taurus Model 607, I believe. It's snub nose 38 special. It's cheap. You can get them for like $300. You know what I mean? Like, truly being said, I'm gonna get that and a Heritage Rough Rider, which is a 22 single action revolver. You can get those for $100, and I think I might also buy a Taurus Judge because, yeah, those are pretty cool. And so those are 3 revolvers. I have too many mental health issues. I couldn't even get one. Well, I agree that people with like extreme depression would be more prone to killing themselves, and a firearm just makes that easier. And that's just such an unfortunate thing that we live in today. But the thing is, I also feel like if you seek the proper help necessary, you know what I mean? If you can get past your depression, like everybody gets depressed. You know what I mean? Everybody has issues. I can't say that I haven't been depressed in my life. You know, when my dad died, that was really tough. You know, I grew up in an abusive home, but I'm not crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't use my past to excuse anything that I do. I'm a very logical person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all the way there. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? But I can't say that life hasn't been hard, and you know what? I might not be happy with life, but, you know, it's like, I would never kill myself. I would never attempt to commit suicide. And suicide's a huge problem in America. And I feel like the reason why it's such a huge problem is because trying to actually, you know, seek the proper help necessary, there's a lot of stigmas to it. I think culturally speaking, we're slowly getting better at it. Like, you know, you gotta understand, like, way back in the 1960s when PTSD was not a thing, the soldiers coming back from Vietnam, you know, like, they did not get the help that they needed, you know what I mean? And some of them made it through it, some of them didn't. Some of them started using drugs, you know. Some of them didn't. Some of them just lived on life, right? Some World War II vets, some of them had the most intense PTSD, some of them also just lived life. They knew what they did, they lived with regrets. and they moved on, and then they didn't live with regrets, So I feel like as far as the whole mental health, people that are mentally ill shouldn't have guns because they might kill people or kill themselves. I think if it's a huge concern, I feel like the NRA and other gun groups should try doing not a psych eval or anything like that, but just like there should be a way that if you're not feeling very well, that there should be a way for you to turn in your weapons temporarily until you can get the help you need. I don't know, and then get them back. Getting them back is kind of the huge part, and I feel like that's part of the reason why it's not suggested is because it's like once the government seizes weapons, it's so hard to get them back, and so it's like, I don't know, man. It's a tough topic, and I feel like it's a topic that should be explored by professionals that know about mental health, firearm lawmakers that should, experts, people that get paid enough to have these deep philosophical conversations, because in reality, you know what I mean, to strip someone of their right to defend themselves with a firearm makes them vulnerable to gun violence just as much as it is making them capable of committing gun violence. Because the issue with gun violence is it's not the guns, the issue is not the guns, the issue is the violence, right? I think everybody can agree on that. It's not the guns that kill people, right? It's not the cars that drive themselves, you know what I mean? They're tools or objects, they're weapons. You know what I mean? So looking at it from that perspective, a car doesn't drive itself. Well, we're getting to the point where some cars are self-driving, but that capability, that feature is so unreliable. But we're getting to a really strange point in our world. We are living in the future. You know what I mean? Information wars are completely huge issue, you know what I mean? Because media is faked, AI can do things. It's just we live in a very strange time. But yeah, I'm gonna go to the shooting range here shortly. But yeah, I'm gonna compile a small list of guns I'd like to get. I want to get a Steyr AUG. I definitely want to get the HK416 and HK-G36C both in 22, or G36 both in 22 long rifle to complete my HK22 collection. You know what I mean? I also want to get the MP5 pistol because that could give me an extra magazine for my other MP5. Those magazines are like $80 a piece, so they cost a lot of money to buy backup mags. It's not like Glock where you're paying like $20 for an extra mag, you know what I mean? Also, Glocks tend to give you a lot of extra mags with just the simple purchase of a Glock, which again is going to actually bring me to my secondary point with the gun topics. This is why I want a gun channel, is because I love talking about guns, being enthusiastic about guns, but more importantly, having real conversations about them and not just the political he said, she said, and what does this mean for gun owners. Obviously that's very important, but actual conversations about gun releases and my opinions on guns. And honestly, I used to really not like Glock. I thought they were kind of overrated just because so many people use them, and like the build quality is not, say, as good as something like Beretta. I think Smith & Wesson, I was a Smith & Wesson guy for a good long while, and I only own 2 Smith & Wessons. I intend on buying a lot more of the M&P lineup, but also the main thing I want to do this year though is get a Steyr AUG. But I also want to start getting into some older style, some Western style weapons. The lever action, the side by side. double barrel revolvers, stuff like that. And possibly picking up some more milsurp, World War II surplus, in particular an M1 Garand, an M1 carbine, possibly a Springfield 1903, Mosin Nagant, and a Type 99 Arasaka, and a Carcano rifle. Those are also a small magazine Lee Enfield, or an SMLE rifle. Is what that is. Short magazine Lee Enfield. Possibly looking at getting like a Russian Makarov pistol. Those are neat little pistols. I've always been a fan of them, but more importantly, picking up some more 1911s. I only have one. I would like to get a couple like modern 2011s. I think they have some. I think Springfield has a 1911 and 10 millimeter, which would be kind of just an odd, interesting choice. Not something I feel like a lot of people really like, but I do want to get the Glock 40. So there's a Glock with a long barrel. It's like a G17 with a long barrel, except instead of shooting 9 millimeter, it shoots 40, or not 40, it shoots 10 millimeter. And I would like to get a Glock 23 because I owned a Glock 23. I sold it for money, but I would like to get another one because, well, yeah, it's a gun in 40 Smith & Wesson, and I like 40. I'm one of those guys. I like variety, and so being able to have variety is very important to me. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna go to the range, and stay civil, ladies and gentlemen.